of excitement there. Michigan knocked off Texas A&M on last night, and I know most of the Texas people wasn't happy, but we got somebody around the chute here that was pretty happy about seeing the old blue go strong again.
Absolutely.
As they were ready to take care of business. And as we speak, oh, there we go. We get in there. And so they were able to take care of business and get set up digging. I was just talking about how maybe the A&M fans are not happy, but I know somebody is happy.
Oh, no doubt. We're talking about taking care of business now.
Taking care of business.
Our next guest now, he's been on campus before.
Yeah. He's no stranger to the purple and gold.
No stranger to the purple and
gold.
But
last night it was all about go blue.
That it was.
And I almost called him Coach. Without further ado, Brother Ray Jackson, how you doing?
How you doing? How
welcome.
You doing? Thanks for having me this morning.
Look, first of all, I know you wearing rocket gear trying to be politically correct and all that. Hey, now, when you watch your alma mater play,
yes, sir.
You become a fan all over again.
All over again, especially during this time of year. You know, that March Madness brings the juices out and the fire out in everybody, man. Real ballers.
Yes, sir. You said the real ballers showed up. It was a competitive game at one point, but then, just let's be honest. It was expected for Michigan to do well.
Right.
And right now, with the way people are falling right now, man, things are looking pretty good for you guys.
Man, it's looking pretty good, but I mean, this is tournament time.
Right.
So anybody, you got the Chicago Illinois team.
Yes.
They scaring everybody and sending them home.
Yeah, sending them home, packing up, as they say, I can't say. Hey, what's
Bubba McDowell in the house.
Bubba left me to the side over there. Gonna hit me and run, but that's okay. But speaking of right now, you get a chance to reminisce and go back. But as old Skip from Garrett Morris, instead of baseball, basketball been very good to you, ain't it?
Very good to me. It's been a blessing, man. I thank God for it daily, and I try to encourage kids to find their niche in life.
Yes, sir.
Whatever your talent or skill set is, it can show you the world and educate you in ways you couldn't even imagine. So it's been a true blessing.
When you're talking about education, see, a lot of people think I'm a ball player, and if I don't make it to the professional ranks, then I fail.
Right.
But what they don't realize is that God gives you tangibles and talents that will help you get above and live above your circumstances, and how valuable and important it is for you to take advantage of those opportunities, whether it's D1, D2, JUCO, whichever route you go.
Right.
He gives us talent to help enhance your future.
Right. But what we have to, and our kids, and what I try to teach them is that basketball is not your only talent. You have other gifts as well. And I went through that for a minute, being the fifth member of the Fab Five, being the only one not to make it to the NBA. I felt like a failure, but when I stepped back and actually looked at it, I was like, this is a success story.
Yes.
You never know how God is going to bless you.
Absolutely.
The normal college student is me.
Yes.
Most of us don't make it to the pros. And then if we determine that a non-success and we walk away with an education, degrees, and a knowledge of more things than we've ever seen coming from our communities, then it's a win and it's a total blessing.
Yes, sir. I call it a triple education. You get the scholastics behind you.
Yes.
You get the world life experience behind you, and you get the growth in God behind you.
There you go.
When you get a chance to experience these things. Now, when you're going through and you're playing this, and for me, when I realized that I was not going to go through the professional ranking like I had desired to go.
Right.
I can only speak for me. There was a slight moment of depression that I had to get through, because I knew I was good, and I said, man, I had success everywhere I went, but then the reality comes in, and then at some point you got to pull yourself up and say, you know what, life goes on, and that's when you really start reflecting, and when you get over this crescendo in life, you be like, I had a pretty doggone good run.
Great run at it. But then I also discover I have other passions too.
Yes.
That I love just as well as the sport or the game of basketball, that I can take to the next level and enjoy and help others the rest of my life. And that's what I told you. I encourage the kids to find a passion something else outside of sports that you enjoy, and that'll carry you.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's what helps you in those times, like when you're trying to find your way. You know,
we're talking right now with Ray Jackson, one of the Fab Five. You know, now we're gonna go back and reminisce just a little bit. Hey, these guys were trendsetters.
Yes.
You know, and the thugs on the floor.
So-called.
Yeah. You know, you see me throw them quotations up, right? Sir. When you are comfortable with being you don't look at yourself as a trendsetter. You're just doing what you've always done.
Right.
You got what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
When you go back, and when did you guys realize that you really had something special as a unit?
Man, I think the first time we walked on campus and we actually got a chance to play together, we knew it was going to be special. You know, the first day we actually played together was outside our dorms. We had a big old dorm, South Court, looked like the projects.
Yes, sir.
Had a goal outside, full court goals outside, and we ran out there as soon as we got to campus. We threw our bags down, went out there and played. Football players, everybody staying in the same dorm, so everybody think they can ball.
Right.
So we went out there, man, and we got to jumping over cats' heads, and we was like, oh, okay. We got the same mindset, athleticism. The chemistry is there. We got something.
Yes, sir.
So from that point on, we were inseparable. You saw us every day together. If you didn't see, if you saw one, you saw 2 or 3 others, if not all.
Well, you could always tell that when a team is really clicking, because how they perform off the court, off the field, it shows when they show up to work, if you would.
Yes.
And you could just remember the combinations that you guys would have going back and forth. Now, you're gonna have to ask some dirty line. We can't talk old school without hearing some dirty lines right now.
We can be honest now. We know now. Statute of limitations is up now, so we can do what we do.
Yes, sir. Now look, this is what I like about, because it was a fraternity within a fraternity. Give us a story without throwing anybody too much under the bus that only you guys would be able to relate to, but that we would appreciate.
Man,
he's thinking like, can I pick just one? Which one do I pick?
I know, but it's got to be G-rated.
Oh, and that's hard. I gotta clean it up, man. We have so many stories. I'm just so glad we didn't have camera phones.
Oh man, it was
that's the blessing. I mean, we got stories from the dorms, in the gym, the hotel rooms. I mean, it's the stories.
I said G-rated, brother. Right?
I'm just telling you. Stories. When we got on the road together, that was the best time.
Oh, I know it.
We were all isolated from everybody. No girls, no nothing. We just in there clowning like young men and just bonding. That was the beauty of I'm actually in school getting my certification to coach and teach.
Okay.
I've been doing it at the private school level for years, but I want to do it public school wise because I feel like that's the kids I need to reach.
Yeah.
So with that being said, man, the chemistry was crazy, man. Like every day, whether we were in the film room, it was something crazy going on because it was like brothers, and everybody was cherishing the moment. We knew we had something special, so every day was a gift, and we just had fun with it, man. And I mean, I can't name one story, but it's, man.
Well, I know a lot of people, they give your brother Weber a hard time on calling that time out, and everything. But, man, I mean, you were there in that moment. And that was an honest mistake. A young kid caught up in the moment, man. That was a devastating blow, and something that you don't get over, but eventually you get through it, if that makes sense. Do you remember coming up to him and trying to show some words of encouragement with him?
Yes. We hugged everything after the game. You know, everybody kind of at first went their separate way and dealt with the frustration and the anger. And that's a natural process. That's a natural thing. But once we got together in the locker room, we rallied around each other because we knew it wasn't his fault. The thing was, we should have made other plays leading up to that. You know, that wouldn't have had us in that predicament. But I mean, it was tough. But I also, man, I'm a big component of education. If we would have known the process, I don't think that would have lingered as long as it had. Because if all 5 of us should have actually went to the NBA and that'll wash away all the pain. You know, everybody, parents get their money, their families get taken care of, and we move forward. But we were under the impression that we had to win it to be successful.
Right.
You know, you don't really understand. And then now you got 20 years later, you got a Kentucky team with 5 freshmen. They don't win the championship, but all of them go to the NBA.
Right.
And then maybe a 6th man on the team go. They might send 6 people to the draft this year.
Right.
So we not understanding and not, you know. And,
even after last night.
Yeah. Even after last night. Exactly. We said they're going to lose 4 kids probably, you know, and not understanding that and being the groundbreaker never totally understands what they're doing. So we broke the ground.
Right.
You know,
and that's the beauty and the danger of being a groundbreaker, because you're not really conscious of what it is that you're doing, but you know you're embracing this moment, man. You know, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to let my shorts hang. I'm going to have my hip hop. I'm going to have my headphones.
But you want to know your value and worth at the same time, and that's the thing we didn't understand. I mean, it's things we could still be making money and generating funds for our families and our communities from if we were educated on it, from the baggy shorts to the black socks to everything. So I just look back on that like, let me educate these kids and show them their value and worth at an early age.
Right.
The institution, they always hate for the product to know their value and their worth.
Well, you say no questions left unturned, which leads us right to the way. And I already think I know the answer, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that collegiate players should be compensated?
Most definitely.
Yes,
Most definitely, without a doubt.
Because they're making some money.
I mean, they're making a lot.
Sometimes that powerful man. They making some money.
Look at this weekend. I tell you something crazy, man. With all this scandal going on with the Louisville and the other schools, if it was that serious, cancel the NCAA tournament. Shut it down. If you really want to prosecute it, it's that dangerous. But
sports mafia ain't gonna go for that.
Right. Too much money being generated, fellas.
Now, talk about this, and I think this is a lesson because everybody see the talent, they see the end result, see what you guys did as players as you move forward. Talk about the work ethic that we didn't see in practice, on your own,
practice
as a unit, that still carries you to this day. I think there's a misconception that because you're at Michigan, that's just talent.
Right.
But everybody, and we're seeing that play out this weekend with the tournament, and it happens every year.
Right.
But the work ethic that it takes and the foundation that lays, not just in the athletics, but in life.
Oh man, well, the work ethic was at a high level. I mean, we got the opportunity when I got there to play against the Detroit Pistons. Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, they would come up in scrimmages. You know, we kept ourselves around the best of the best.
Okay.
And we're actually having an All-Star game, the Central Texas All-Star game in Austin this weekend, and we had practice for the kids. And I say, man, y'all don't get in this atmosphere enough where the best kids in the area are in the gym and play against each other consistently. We made sure of that. So we practice at a high level. You know, I'm looking across the court at Mr. Basketball from Michigan 2 years ago. That's a sophomore. And Mike Talley, that's a junior. And Mike Talley, Eric Riley. We had one of the deepest rosters in the country.
No doubt.
People fail to realize that. So our practices, we played against better competition in practice than games. So it was always at a high level because everybody wanted to be on the court. You showing up, ESPN, CBS is out there every day. Everybody wants to be on TV and shine. So high level. And it just creates a work ethic to where you never come to practice slipping because you know you lose your opportunity or your spot. So, I mean, but it also brought a camaraderie. And it held everybody accountable. It brought accountability as well. So
for those listening, how does it translate into life now, even 20, 25 years since the Fab Five, that all of you have been successful behind those same principles of work?
Oh, man, just don't get out of work. It translates to getting up those days you don't feel good. You don't really want to go to work. You're not feeling well. Get up and get there. But not only get there, but be your best. Be the
don't
best.
Just show up, but show out.
Every time, every opportunity you get.
Don't let anybody outwork you.
That's the key.
And at the end of the day, if you can look yourself in the mirror and know that you did the very best that you could do, you have nothing else to complain about.
Right.
We're going to, you're coaching now, so bring us up to speed on what you're doing and how that's coming out. And I hear you talking about that you want to get certified, so I want to let you know I'm on my 4th term on a school board. I'm not gonna call it out right now.
Doubt,
if you need we need a basketball
man,
coach.
we looking. We trying to make it happen.
We need to look, and I got a little favor with folks every now and then. So I'm just look, you being auditioned right now. So bring us up to speed. What's going on?
So right now, I'm running my nonprofit. I'm also at my high school. I'm teaching health right now. I took a year off coaching because I wanted to go ahead and finish this school and just get focused because it's time to move forward. So I sacrificed a year coaching. We're doing the AAU basketball. I mean, I'm all over the board. I'm doing the public speaking, man. We're starting the after school program this coming fall called Lab, teaching them life after ball. So I'm all over, man. My thing is to teach these kids how to be entrepreneurs and understand life after sports. Use sports, don't let sports use you.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? And Deacon know where I stand on all this here, man. I can definitely. We need to talk. we definitely need to talk. And I like that lab, life after ball, and it's not just basketball. It could be baseball, football, soccer.
We're all gonna face it.
Yeah, you gotta face it.
Whether it's high school,
and I think
college,
I think that's the worst thing that we don't prepare these student athletes for life after the game. When your eligibility is done, and you didn't get to that next level contract, then that's
injury.
Or injury. And that's when that reality kind of goes like, boom, because then you go like, I got to get up to go, oh, I don't have to do that right now. And then you making this adjustment, and then no matter what you say, and this is no knock on anybody else, you will never be normal. Because even though there are people who would give a left limb to say, man, I would love to be where you are right now, and how that goes. So, man, look, walk with your head held high, and keep the focus and let it be what it be, so it'll do what it'll do, and you'll never have a problem.
See, this is the thing I want to leave the kids and the parents with. Don't worry about the D1, what level your son or daughter plays. The key is to come out of school with a skill set and come out of that debt free.
Yes.
Let's come out of that debt free. Any way we can get to school and get that education and get that degree, diploma, certification debt free and start their life in a positive direction. That's what we're after right now.
I gotta ask this question. How much time we got? We gotta take a break?
Go ahead. We'll keep going.
Look, you mentioned AAU, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a challenge with the AAU with how some guys are just kind of loosey-goosey, and then when they get to a structured environment as a college, whether it's D1, 2, or whatever, how do you see that in preparing kids for collegiate play? It seems like AAU is more getting guys trying to get set for pro level. How do you see that?
I see it being under the right tutelage. You have to be very selective of where you send your children to learn. I tell everybody that, man. If I'm going to get a haircut, I'm not going to the doctor's office. I'm going to a barber.
But what if you call them Dr. Clippers?
But I'm just saying, you got so many parents and people teaching basketball that never played at a real level.
And really, and for lack, and I'm not saying this is what you're doing, but a lot of these guys are hustling kids.
There you go, hustling families.
They're hustling. They're pimping families. Yes. You pay me X amount a month, and I guarantee you, blah, 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 blah. And the kid go in there with the attitude. And then it's almost like you force them, man, I'm paying all this money. I need to do something. And it goes back to that value and that appreciation. Man, work hard. And those old saying, hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard.
All the time.
And when you putting this thing on the grind and you're making sure that you're positioning yourself for life.
Right.
A lot of these guys are worried about the game instead of worried about life.
Yes, but the AAU coaches that I deal with, that I have a great respect for, are teaching life skills along with the ball.
Okay.
See, we use the basketball to catch them. That's our fishing rod. Now, our bait. Once we get them in, then we start teaching them how to be young men. We teach them life skills, how to value education, how to be respectful, how to value women, how to eat at a formal dinner.
Yes.
It's life skills and life sets that they need, and that's how we do it. And that's what real AAU is about. Then you teach them the fundamentals of the game, the work ethic, the process of the game, the steps. A lot of kids are rushing the process.
Yes, sir. They rushing. And now I gotta bring you back to the real life moment. Now, when did you realize, man, that you had lost a step?
Man, I don't think I realized it until it was over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Until I was done. to be honest, because the competitive nature of every
your
athlete,
mind tell you, man, I can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't come face to face with it, man, until I was done.
It's hard to put down
because I actually walked away from the game when I could still play.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? I had some life situations that changed the course of my mindset. My mother ended up getting cancer and passing away from cancer, so I stopped going overseas. I stayed home to take care of her, and it just changed my complete mindset. I was selfish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God opened your eyes and start letting you see real things when you see some people struggle with disease and something you can't change.
And not only did they struggle, but they made personal sacrifices that you can even comprehend.
Man. And then all that starts running through your mind, and you seeing all that on a day-to-day basis, and people losing their lives. And, oh, man. So from that point on, I never picked up the ball again. I still had opportunities to go overseas and still play ball, but I was done. It was time to do something else. It was time to be obedient.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that was my course.
Well, you know what? Eventually, if people have that ear to hear, that obedience factor begins to become prevalent. Brother Ray, man, look, I have had.
We're gonna talk though. We locked in from here on out. We locked in.
We are locked in. Brother Ray Jackson of the Fab Five. We are going to take a break. Ms. Thurston just jumped
Thanks
out
for
on
having me on.
Yeah. Oh no, man. Thank you for being on. And as a customary, we want to give you some closing thoughts and comments before we take this break.
Okay. My thoughts are, man, keep God first.
Keep God first.
Take every day as a blessing, man. Truly be thankful and grateful. And just count your blessings, man. My thing is take every day and keep God first. I can't give nobody anything other than God. That was the greatest gift my parents gave me. So when I walk out every day, I want to thank God, and I want everybody to understand the value and the glory of God.
All right, Brother Ray Jackson, we thank you again. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Man, we have been rolled up, but they keep rolling right on in, man. Yeah. I'm going to let this man introduce himself. I don't even think I'm worthy to introduce. So let everybody know who we're talking to right now.
Well, this is Mo Williams, 2016 NBA champion. I mean.
The champ is here.
Oh, yeah, 14-year NBA vet.
The big man that got in on us with this here, Ashley Robinson, has joined us. We've now been blessed to have Mo Williams with him. Man, first of all, thank you and welcome to the hill, away from the hill.
Oh,
How about that?
Man, listen, it's a pleasure. Me and A-Rod, I call him A-Rod. A-Rod go.
So can I call you A-Rod too, man?
A-Rod.
A-Rod.
As long as you couldn't check, you
there you
man.
go. we go way back. Man.
Yeah.
We childhood friends. He was my point guard in high school. I mean, learned a lot from him.
Learn a lot from each other. And when we see it, we just had a last segment with Ray Jackson. When you talk about you have guys who have talent, who don't go to the next level, but then they felt like because of the competitive nature in them that they fail, but when they really succeeded. And you've been blessed, you know, with this NBA, and you got a ring. You didn't bring your ring with you.
I didn't bring the ring, and I got to keep that.
Keep it on lock.
Yeah, it's kind of locked down.
Just for moments like this here, man.
You're right. I should have brought it.
And if you needed somebody to hold it when you had your sticks in your hands,
you would have handled that.
I'd have handled that. I put it on my pinky, probably.
Oh, yeah.
we didn't got that handled.
No, I'm
right.
telling you, man, it's a blessing. And the kind of be in the presence of guys, like Jan, and Ray. I'm sorry, being part of the Fab Five, and when we was coming up. Man, when you really look at, those guys setting the tone for youth like us, I mean, we all had baggy shorts.
Well, y'all making me feel old. Y'all making me feel old, boy.
But, to be able to, play in the NBA, being at 6'1", coming from Jackson, Mississippi, having 14 years there, being an NBA All-Star, being an NBA champion, playing with some of the greatest players ever played, LeBron, Chris Paul, Chauncey Billups, to name a few. I mean, those life experiences, always take you a long way, and it took me to, my next phase in life, which is, helping youth and developing youth and, getting them to a level of competitive nature where they can take it to the next level, whereas, to college, whereas, life skills as far as if they don't play basketball after college, where those life skills that basketball teaches you, it gets you to the next level in life, because one thing basketball teaches you is how to fail. And when you do fail, how do you respond? That's why it's, percentages in every aspect of the game. They call it analytics, but it's analytics in life also. So you try to take those life lessons that we teach in the game of basketball, where we reach for perfection. But when you think about the game of basketball, there's no way you can be perfect, but we all strive to be perfect. So it's no different from life.
Well, when you understand the word perfect, and a lot of people have a misconception of what perfect means, and if you allow me, this is just what I do. Perfect is, when we think of perfect, it's about a flawless individual who's never made a mistake. But when you understand perfect from a biblical standpoint, it means a person who has grown and matured from point A to point B. So when you're striving for that perfection, we're talking about growth, emotionally, physically, and spiritual growth. And when you bring those elements from, you say you're coming from Jackson, Mississippi, had this experience, it had to be a vision and a dream come true for any kid from any part of the country. But to come through Jackson, to be able to play on the highest level of competition, and remember that it all started from Jackson, Mississippi. How do you translate that to a kid who might not make it as far as you, but they can still make it as far as their education and a change in the rest of their lives?
Well, that's the goal. I always tell kids all the time that, yes, you have aspirations, you have dreams to be in the NBA or to play professionally, but there's only a small window, and it's a million kids, trying to have that same opportunity. So what do? Do you use that basketball as a tool? I always say, hey, you vision this basketball as round, but it's a tool, and this tool can turn into a key, and it can open a lot of doors for you. And I always use the example of, when you go to a school, and do you know who's on the front row? Do you know who, supporting that school and been supporting that school forever? Do you know those guys? Because what happens if you get injured and you can't play anymore? Or what happens if you graduate and professional basketball is not in your future? Now it's all about relationships. You're in a position where you can get those relationships, you can develop those relationships, you can massage those relationships, and you may find something that you really enjoy. And those are the opportunities that basketball can bring you, if that's, what you want to do. If it's football, if it's baseball, if it's soccer, whatever it is.
Or athletic director.
Just
right.
Whatever it is, you can strive to be, because people don't know. A-Rod is a hell of a basketball player.
Oh, yeah, well, we tease him with it all the time. He talked about he didn't have many turnovers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Led the nation in assists. I brag on him to this day, but at the end of the day, everybody can't be a professional basketball player.
Mm-hmm. But you can be a professional.
He used all those tools to get to where he is. People don't know that his first job, people laughed at him. People thought he was crazy. People say, man, what? Hold up. Man, he packed up a U-Haul by himself. Drove 20 hours by himself.
Yes, sir.
For free.
Yes.
Because the check he was getting, that's what cost him to get there.
Right.
So people don't understand the grind. People don't understand the opportunities, and people don't know how to take advantage of them.
Right. We're speaking with, I'm going to say legendary. You don't mind me saying legendary.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. As I done got older, I done got a little bit more into myself.
Yes, sir.
At the end of the day, when you sit back, and, I played 14 years in the NBA, 2 years in college, been around the game for a long time, been around a lot of people, and when you kind of on a rise and trying to prove yourself and trying to see where you're going to be in life, and you really have the time to kind of sit back and kind of know what you've been through and see the accomplishments that's there. I have kids. I have 5 boys of my own.
You got a basketball squad.
Absolutely. And I mentor them, I train them, develop them, but at the same time, I'm letting them know this is what Pops did.
Right.
So it's a point in my life now where, I've never been a guy that, like, I was a McDonald's All-American in high school. I don't have my jersey. I don't have the ring they gave me. Those things didn't matter to me.
Right.
But today, you know, I sit back because those are things that made me who I am, and it was hard to really, you know, get those things accomplished and to be able to, you know, have that on your resume. You know, it's something for kids, because when I do talk to kids and I do train kids and mentor them, you know, it means a lot to them. So as it was starting to mean a lot to other people, it started to mean a lot to me.
Right.
You know,
right.
so
It's
today,
that reflection. That's
yeah,
that reflection
so today,
time.
yeah, legendary.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Mo Williams. Now we don't want to leave the athletic director. I
Absolutely.
left out now. Ashley, childhood friend, former teammate, and these are personal moments. You know, you don't get a chance to talk about it that much, but for you, reflect on what it is to see your brother sitting right here, you know, and if he makes it, I know spiritually, emotionally, you made it as well,
Right.
and the dialogue that you had, because see, when they see Mo Will, you just call him Mo, he calling you A-Rob. You understand? So, so what is that like for you to see and keep this solidarity with your friendship over the time?
I mean, it's very big, you know, brotherhood and friendship, you know, among Black Americans is Black men, you know, and that's something that I strive to do. I strive to train, you know, when it comes to elevating and enhancing, you know, the university and enhancing the athletic department. And a lot of athletes and a lot of students use athletics to do that. We use athletics to get an education.
Right.
We use athletics to help us with issues and problems that we have from a personal standpoint. And having a personal friend that I grew up with, you know, he called me A-Rob. We call him Peanut. You know, so you know,
letting all the dirty laundry out
let
today.
it out, but it's very special to me. You know,
Right.
I had a special moment when I picked him up from the airport last night. You know, being able to bring someone in that has been doing, you know, the things for 14, 15 years, which is a special moment. You know, we had a couple special moments when I was in college. We was able to play each other in a classic. You know, and my coach set it up. His coach set it up. That was another special moment for me.
Right.
And us coming from, you know, Jackson, Mississippi. But seeing that in the grind, and seeing him grind, and seeing myself grind, and you know, that's a special moment. You know, that those are untouchable moments that you really, you know, you talk about, but when you see it, you know, you're like, man, you think about where we came from. We talked last night, and we talk about moving forward. We talk about college basketball. We talk about athletics, period. We talk about goals and what you want to do and what you want to do. And I always call them, I said, man, we doing something special here. I said, this is different. This is something special.
Yeah.
I build facilities. I call them. I said, things that we're doing here, because you always hear, you know, he went to a PWI. You know, Ray went to a PWI. But, you know, and I asked him last night, I said, you know, talk about, you know, the specifics on what it means for alumni to support, or what it means to, as an athlete, when you saw the alums and everybody there for me, even through the good times and the bad times. And that's something that we struggle with here. You know, it's only about the good times. You know, if you're winning the championships, everybody's happy.
Well, hold on. Fair weather's only about
you're
good
right.
times.
You're right.
Fair weather's.
The overall picture is educating the student athletes. You know, developing a man and a woman to life skills. You know, and that's what athletic does, and that's something that's very special. It did it for us.
Right.
You know,
and you talking about that, and I was here at its darkest moments.
Right.
At the 0-88. You got what I'm saying?
Right.
But I said, and I know it makes me sound old, and I'm not on no crab or anything like that, but it is what it is. There was a sense of pride that I knew. It became personal. This is my school.
Right.
And if anybody's going to make a change, it's going to start with me.
Right.
You understand? And when you understand that I got a chance to change the course of my lineage, whether it's from Jackson, Mississippi, St. Louis, Missouri, Cypress, Texas, Hockley, Texas, Prairie View, Texas, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you're heading.
Right.
And when you take advantage of the opportunities that come before you, you guys playing basketball together, who would have thought that 20 years down the road that you'd be sitting next to a world champion, all-star NBA level, a professional athletic director, you know, from the heartbeat of Jackson, Mississippi. And so that is the advantage of being able to take the good with the bad. It can't always be puff, how you doing.
Right.
It's going to be a slow grind, but it's what you're doing in that grind. Because, see, what people don't understand, when they see you shining, they don't realize how long you've been grinding. And so you've been going up when nobody else wants to go in. They throwing in the towel and they saying forget it and this, that, and the other. I cried a tear of pride and joy when we broke the ground for the stadium and when the stadium was completed, because I remember when they shut us down. And we said, please bring it back. We'll do whatever it's going to take to make it come back. And then to see that it's standing up. And hopefully that these guys, what you're doing for these guys, how you're helping to enhance this thing, when they come and see, man, we got a responsibility. And here's the challenge that we have to be. Can I give despite on how I see it personally? What can I do that's greater than me that will help? And I'm a big advocate about this. If you put $25 a month, $25 a month, $300 a year. Just imagine if 1,000 people did that, what impact you're going to have. And I know that doesn't sound like much to people but you got to start somewhere to get this thing off the ground. So we're talking with Athletic Director Ashley Robinson, legendary NBA ball player Mo Williams. I'm about to put you guys on the spot. I got to do that every now and then. Who won in one-on-one? Who beat who in one-on-one?
We never finished the game.
There you go.
We never finished the game.
Look, I don't want no political like Mo gonna say, man, I used to hang up on you. But no, and that was always that's that brother bond thing. And that's what sports do for you. It has you competing even when your playing days are over with. Not that you're trying to outdo each other. It's just you want to see the best for each other. So you're pushing each other for the best. So you probably be about me, man. I think y'all got A-Rod back at the crib, man. With how you all going all over the place. So then, I am Mo, my guy. He told me, Mo, my guy, man. I know, man. I got it right there on my phone. Right there, man. I got it. So those are enriching things that athletics brings to the table. Now, we can talk about the institution, and the institution is definitely the institution. But if you want to accent that institution, have a strong athletic program.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're about. And I think that's where we're going. I mean, we've came a long way, Mike, from the last 4 years. I talked to Mo when we pulled up. You see 3 rows of cars. The first year of the golf tournament, you saw 1 row of car. So you see the growth, and when you're building something, it takes time, but you have to be consistent.
Yes, sir.
And that's what it's all about. Being consistent.
Staying on that grind, baby.
Doing what you say you're gonna do. And this weekend here, this is another big event. I call it the spring homecoming.
That's what I've been dubbed.
We started this last year to where on Fridays we play a little golf. Then we leave here and then we go and watch some softball and baseball. Then we wake up in the morning and we talking about growing the institutions. We got 62 high schools, which over 2,000 athletes, high school athletes in the state of Texas, coming on the hill to see the campus and to do PB relays.
Yes, that's a good recruiting tool. And then look, I got to get on the horse. I got to broadcast a softball game later on today. We got baseball this weekend and everything.
But that's what Panthers do. Panthers grind.
Oh, we grind, baby, because Prairie View produces productive people. And I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all.
You're just stating fact.
I'm just stating fact. You got to do what you got to do. Now, Mo, you went to a PWI, and has he seen the campus yet?
No, I'm taking it.
Oh, well, I'm going to talk to you after that. I'm going to talk to you after that.
Let me tell you a funny story about that. Probably about the last, 3 years for sure. Every time I talk to him, man, I got to get you on campus, man. I'm doing some big things, baby. I'm doing, when you see it, you going to love it, man. He's been so excited about the transformation that's been going on around here. He don't sleep. I call him all the time. What you doing, man? I'm working, grinding, man. I'm grinding.
Look, if he ain't working, he and I going back and forth.
There you go.
Cause I call him little brother. And little brothers, you could talk to each other, and be like, man. If somebody was in public, they'd be like, man, are they about to choke each other? But that's what family does.
Brother, big brother.
That's what family does. And you'll be like, you know what? Then both of us say, man, you know what? Maybe I should have looked at it from this way. Well, I should have looked at it from that way. But the goal is the same. You're striving for the best that you can have for the institution. And when you put that on the line, it doesn't matter that you say you beat him or he beat him or the game didn't get complete.
Yeah,
you kept pushing each other.
Absolutely.
And that, man, I definitely got to talk to him after the fact he sees the campus because you're gonna love it.
Oh yeah, that's what he keeps telling me. I swear he say, man, I got to get you down here,
look,
man. You're gonna love it.
I guarantee you, when you walk and when you hit that gate, that threshold, Prairie View A&M University, you're gonna be like, wow. Because, see, you have your mind what you think it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen some pictures, but you hadn't experienced it in the living flesh. And when you see it, you're going to be like, wow.
That's all right.
This is all right. And I can't wait. Now, I got to ask you now, are you all in the scramble together?
Yeah, we together.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Now, but let me tell you a story. See, we play golf together all the time. But probably the last 7 months I've been on my grind, and I know he has. So it's funny though. We ask each other. We say, when the last time you played? We say, man, it's been about 6 months. Like, okay, it's been about 6 months for me.
So that's that competition. That's that competition going back again. Look, we doing this for right. good cause, but I gotta beat you and you gotta beat me. So let the games continue, right? Well, look, man, I always appreciate you doing. I'm gonna give you a moment, then we're gonna let brother the legendary
there you go
close us out. So come on, Mr. AD.
Mike, I'm just excited. Anytime I have a big event, and I'm excited to be able to bring my brother to show some of the things that we're doing. You never know, what you can get out of bringing someone on campus that understand athletics, understand what you're doing, and having a childhood friend here to show the alums, to show the people where we're trying to go and what we're doing.
Right.
So, and I ask people all the time, everyone can't give, but let's give positive support. Let's continue to support the athletes. Let's continue to support the university. Let's continue to produce productive people, and I guarantee you we will be successful.
All right.
Thank you for your support.
Oh, man, no problem. I said I love you like a fat kid, little candy, man. Come on, legendary, bring us on.
I'm going to just end with this. First of all, I'm here to support Ashley and everything he does, especially to grow this university. But HBCU as a whole, I support my mom, graduated from Jackson State. My dad graduated from Jackson State. My little brother graduated from Jackson State. My sister graduated from Mississippi Valley.
Okay.
My older brother, he would have went to HBCU, but he was very smart and went to West Point.
Thank him for his service and everything.
And then obviously I got a scholarship athletic to go to University of Alabama, or I would have been at HBCU.
Roll Tide.
My support, for us is inevitable. It's something that we talk about all the time, where as athletes, we joke about it. Me and Ashley, man, just what if all the athletes just go to HBCU?
I've been saying that for 30 years, man.
But it's always a joke, and we never know if we're going to get there, and hopefully, one day we do. But with that being said, even if we don't go to HBCU at this time in life, we always need to take on some kind of university of ours and make it ours.
Adopt an
exactly.
HBCU.
Even if it's take a summer class there, or after you graduate, just go there and get your master's or whatever it is. Just to be a part of something and support something and do things like that, because that's why those universities like the University of Alabama and those universities survive like that, because they have so many people come through and so many people that gives back, and they just keep growing. So that's why I'm here today. That's why, I took time out of my life to come and support not only Ashley, but support us, obviously.
Yes, sir. Well, on behalf of Prairie View A&M University, being an alumni, proud alumni, class of 1993, thank you for joining us on today, man. Go out there and you all fight fair.
Yeah, I'm going to try to hit a couple of them straight,
Fight fair.
We won't finish.
Yeah, at all.